The Misadventures of the Curious Cat. Chapter 1, Mittens and Sarah.
Mittens the cat was a curious one, always eager for some fun. Her owner, Sarah, loved her so, but Mittens wanted to explore and go. One day, she sneaked out the door, and onto the street she began to explore. Sarah called and searched high and low, but Mittens was off on an adventure, ready to go. Mittens walked down the lane, smelling flowers and feeling the breeze with no chain. She knew there was so much more to see, beyond the walls of her house, where she wanted to be. Mittens was excited, but also scared, wondering if she was prepared. She missed Sarah, but she knew she had to discover something new. As she walked down the road, her curiosity continued to grow. She was ready for whatever lay ahead, with wide eyes and a curious head. And so, Mittens' adventure began, her journey filled with twists and turns. But no matter what happened, she knew she would always learn something new.
Chapter 2, Meeting the Squirrel.
Mittens continued on her way, excited for what she might find today. She walked through the park, tail in the air, and suddenly, she saw something rare. A squirrel scampered up a tree, and Mittens followed, as quick as can be. The squirrel led her on a chase, around the branches, at a dizzying pace. Mittens was out of breath and tired, but the squirrel was still full of fire. He stopped and looked at Mittens with a grin, and said, "Curiosity is the way to win." Mittens realized that the chase had been a fun-filled learning space. The squirrel taught her to always explore, and to never be afraid to ask for more. And so, Mittens said goodbye to the squirrel up high in the sky. She continued on with her journey, with her newfound sense of curiosity.
Chapter 3, The Wise Old Owl.
Mittens walked through the woods one day, feeling happy and full of play. But suddenly, she saw a sight, a wise old owl perched on a tree, so bright. Mittens asked, "Mr. Owl, how do you know so much about the world below?" The owl replied, "I've been around for years, and seen so much through my wise old ears." Mittens listened carefully, as the owl talked so gracefully. He told her of the stars and moon, and the wonders of nature in full bloom. Mittens felt so small and new, compared to all the things the owl knew. But then the owl said with a grin, "You too can learn, just take it in." And so, Mittens felt inspired to keep exploring with new desires. She thanked the owl and said goodbye, with a sense of wonder in her eye.
Chapter 4, The Grumpy Old Dog.
Mittens continued on her way, excited for what she might find today. But suddenly, a grumpy old dog appeared, growling and barking, his face contorted with fear. Mittens froze and didn't know what to do. The dog was so loud and scary, it was true. But then she remembered all she had learned, to stay curious, and not to be deterred. She approached the dog with a cautious gait, and said, "Mr. Dog, why are you so irate?" The dog replied with a sigh, "I'm old and grumpy, and not willing to try." Mittens knew she had to help, to show the dog that life wasn't just a yelp. She asked him to come on a walk, and to see what wonders lay beyond his block. The dog grudgingly agreed, and together they began to proceed. Mittens showed him the flowers and the sky, and the dog began to see the world with new eyes. And so, the grumpy old dog found a spark of joy in his heart that wasn't a slog. He thanked Mittens and wagged his tail, with newfound hope that would never fail.
Chapter 5, The Neighbor's House.
Mittens wandered through the street, and saw a house that looked so neat. It was her neighbor's, but she'd never been, and Mittens was curious to see what lay within. She snuck through the fence and crept up to the door, and peeked inside to see more and more. The house was full of wonders, it was true, and Mittens was amazed at what she could view. She saw a room with toys and games, and a kitchen with treats and names. But then she heard a sound so loud, it was the neighbor, returning home with a crowd. Mittens panicked and looked for a way out, but then she saw a note, without a doubt. It was from the neighbor, with an invitation to see all the things in the house, as happy as can be. Mittens went back inside with glee, and saw everything she was meant to see. The neighbor showed her around with care, and Mittens learned that it's good to share. And so, Mittens left the house with pride, knowing that she had nothing to hide. She waved goodbye to the neighbor with a smile, and continued on her journey, mile by mile.
Chapter 6, The Quest for Curiosity.
Mittens had explored so much, but she still yearned for that special touch. The touch of adventure, the touch of new, and so she set out, with a quest to pursue. She searched high and low, far and wide, with nothing in sight to make her satisfied. But then she met a wise old hare, who said, "Mittens, I know just where you can find what you're looking for, just follow me, and we'll explore." They trekked through hills and valleys deep, and climbed up mountains, oh so steep. Mittens felt tired, but she pushed on, for the quest for curiosity must go on. They finally arrived at a secret place, a hidden land, full of grace. It was a place of wonder and awe, and Mittens couldn't believe what she saw. There were creatures of all kinds, with stories and adventures that blew her mind. Mittens felt happy and content, for her quest for curiosity was finally spent. And so, Mittens returned home, with new stories to tell and new places to roam. She realized that curiosity never ends, and there's always something new to befriend.